The entertainment industry thrives on glamour, spotlights, and non-stop schedules. But what happens when two of its brightest stars vanish from the public eye for 30 entire days? That's exactly what left fans restless, suspicious, and electrified with curiosity when Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan suddenly retreated from the stage, the screen, and the outside world. 30 days, no fan sightings, no paparazzi glimpses, no cryptic social media posts. Just silence. At first, it seemed like a mystery. Whispers spread like wildfire, creating wild theories across fan forums. But behind that closed curtain, a world of fascinating possibilities unfolded, scenarios that were both shocking and mesmerizing. These weren't just 30 ordinary days. They were 30 days of secrets, emotions, and once-in-a-lifetime moments that could change everything for these two stars. The first spark of speculation ignited when a delivery driver, who claimed to have dropped off packages at a luxury high-rise in Beijing, noticed unusually frequent orders. Everything from fresh fruits, art supplies, to boxes of rare vinyl records. The address, though confidential, was rumored to be connected to Wang Yibo. But the twist: every receipt carried Xiao Zhan's name. Could it be that the two were living under the same roof? Fans immediately latched onto this theory, envisioning the most cinematic scenes. Imagine Yibo, usually reserved and sharp-eyed, dragging his skateboard across a polished wooden floor inside the apartment, while Xiao Zhan sat cross-legged on the couch, sketchbook in hand, laughing quietly at Yibo's clumsy attempt to perform tricks indoors. No stage lights, no screaming crowds, just two men sharing a space where their real selves could finally breathe. The second reason that fueled the mystery was their undeniable need for escape. Both had weathered storms in the public eye, each carrying scars from controversies and overwhelming pressure. What if these 30 days were their rebellion against a world that demanded too much? The idea paints a vivid picture, the two of them shutting out the world, disconnecting from the managers, their teams, and even their phones. Days filled not with rehearsals or camera flashes, but with late-night conversations that stretched until dawn, where laughter turned into confessions, and silence carried more comfort than words. One fan posted online, "Can you imagine Yibo cooking noodles at 3 a.m., hair messy, still in his practice hoodie, while Xiao Zhan sits on the kitchen counter humming a tune? That's more powerful than any drama scene they've ever filmed." The comment went viral because it didn't sound far-fetched. It sounded real, raw, and human. The third possibility, the one that sent fans spiraling into endless speculation, was collaboration. Both men are artists in their own right, and 30 days hidden away together could only mean one thing. Something extraordinary was being created. Maybe it was a secret music project, a duet that the world wasn't ready for but desperately needed. Picture it: Yibo hunched over a laptop, fine-tuning beats, while Xiao Zhan scribbled lyrics onto scraps of paper. Their voices blending in perfect harmony during practice sessions, echoing softly through the four walls of that hidden apartment. If this theory proves true, those 30 days could result in a masterpiece that would break the internet the moment it dropped. But what if creation wasn't limited to music? Rumors also swirled about scripts, sketches, and storyboarding. Xiao Zhan, who has always had an artistic streak, was said to be working on illustrations for a conceptual short film, while Yibo, with his sharp eye for detail, critiqued every frame. Together, they weren't just hiding, they were building a universe. The fourth layer of intrigue came from a more personal place: healing. For stars constantly under scrutiny, mental peace is a luxury. It's possible that those 30 days were a sanctuary, a safe cocoon where both could nurse their hearts away from the chaos. Inside, time slowed. They could binge-watch old movies, fall asleep on the couch without fear of being photographed, and rediscover what it meant to live like ordinary people. A neighbor reportedly claimed to have heard piano melodies drifting out of the apartment late at night. Whether it was Xiao Zhan's gentle touch on the keys or Yibo experimenting with chords, it didn't matter. The sound alone hinted at a serenity that had been missing from their public lives. And then came the fifth, most electrifying theory of all, the one fans dared to whisper but never openly confirm. Maybe those 30 days weren't about work, escape, or healing. Maybe they were about each other. Imagine the electricity in a space shared by two souls bound by unspoken understanding. The kind of bond that doesn't need a label, the kind that thrives in quiet rooms and hidden smiles. If love is a language, then those 30 days were a novel written in glances, laughter, and shared silences. Fans painted scenes that could melt even the coldest heart. Xiao Zhan wrapped in a blanket, sipping tea, while Yibo silently slid a pair of headphones over his ears, playing him a new track he'd just mixed. No words exchanged, just Xiao Zhan's soft smile as the music spoke volumes. Or maybe Yibo fixing Xiao Zhan's camera lens before they stepped onto the balcony to capture the pink and gold hues of a Beijing sunset. These moments, invisible to the world, are the kind that etch themselves forever into memory. 30 days indoors might sound suffocating to some, but for Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan, it could have been freedom. A pause button on a life lived under flashing cameras. A chance to reclaim their identities not as celebrities, but as men, as artists, as friends, or maybe something deeper. It's no wonder that the mystery of those 30 days continues to spark heated debates, wild theories, and endless fan-created stories online. The beauty of it all lies in the fact that no one knows for sure. Maybe they were working on the greatest collaboration of their careers. Maybe they were healing wounds only they could understand. Maybe they were simply existing, savoring each day like a gift. Or maybe, just maybe, they were discovering what it meant to belong, not to the world, not to fame, but to each other. One thing is certain, those 30 days will forever remain legendary in the eyes of fans. The absence didn't weaken their star power, it magnified it. Like a magic trick, the disappearance drew more attention than their presence ever could. And when they finally step back into the light, the world will be watching, waiting, and wondering just what unfolded behind those closed doors. So whether it was for work, escape, creation, healing, or love, the truth is, 30 days indoors with no spotlight might have given Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan something far more valuable than fame. It gave them time. And sometimes, time is the most powerful gift of all. If you're as fascinated by this mysterious 30-day retreat as we are, don't forget to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel for more mind-blowing stories. Because if this is what happens in 30 days, imagine what could happen in the next 30. When fans first learned that Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan had shut the doors to the outside world for 30 days, it didn't just sound unusual, it sounded impossible. After all, these two men live lives that never stop moving. Concerts, film sets, endorsements, rehearsals. How could they suddenly vanish? But that's exactly what made the retreat even more thrilling. Because sometimes, the most extraordinary stories happen in the most ordinary of places, and for 30 days, 4 walls became their entire universe. Imagine the very first day. The world outside roared with noise, but behind that door, silence settled like a soft blanket. Yibo tossed his jacket onto the couch, skateboard still under his arm, while Xiao Zhan carefully set down a bag of groceries he insisted on carrying himself. No paparazzi cameras, no stylists, no one to dictate their schedules. For the first time in months, maybe even years, it was just them. The hours stretched differently indoors. They weren't measured by rehearsals or flight schedules, but by the rhythm of shared moments. Breakfast was no longer a rushed protein shake grabbed on the way to set, but a table where Xiao Zhan carefully fried eggs while Yibo made clumsy attempts at slicing fruit. Fans would go wild if they could see it. Yibo balancing an apple in his palm, squinting as he tried to carve a perfect slice, while Xiao Zhan chuckled from across the kitchen, teasing, "You're better on the dance floor than with a knife." By the end of the first week, the apartment had transformed into a playground of creativity. Music spilled out of one room while sketchbooks filled with doodles lay scattered across the table. Yibo, with his earphones looped lazily around his neck, would nod along to beats he was experimenting with, while Xiao Zhan leaned over his shoulder, humming lines of melody to fit the rhythm. Picture this. The two of them sitting shoulder to shoulder on the floor, surrounded by empty coffee mugs and half-written lyrics, losing track of time as the sunrise peeked through the curtains. But it wasn't just about creation. It was about rediscovery. These 30 days became a pause from the world, a safe pocket where they could remember what it meant to live simply. One night, when rain tapped against the windows, Xiao Zhan pulled out a deck of cards he'd hidden in his bag. "Let's play," he said with that mischievous glint in his eyes. Yibo raised a brow, skeptical at first, but within minutes the room was filled with bursts of laughter, playful arguments, and moments of silence so comfortable that neither felt the need to fill them. And then there were the quiet scenes that fans could only dream of, moments too intimate for any stage. Xiao Zhan stretched across the couch, sketchbook balanced on his chest, while Yibo perched at the window with his guitar, strumming absent-mindedly. Neither said a word, but the air between them hummed with unspoken understanding. Outside, the city never stopped, but inside, time froze, letting them savor the kind of peace fame often stole. As the days blended together, something shifted. At first, their retreat might have felt like an escape, a chance to shut the world out. But soon, it became more than that. It became a sanctuary where two people could strip away the masks they wore for cameras and fans, and simply be. No schedules, no expectations, just raw, unfiltered existence. Neighbors whispered about faint sounds coming through the walls, bursts of laughter, the muffled beat of a bass line, even the soft notes of a piano late into the night. Rumors spread fast, but no one could truly capture the magic happening inside those four walls. That was their secret, and it was far richer than anything the outside world could imagine. Perhaps the most captivating image of all was what came on the final day. After 30 days of hiding away, the morning sun spilled across the apartment like a golden farewell. Xiao Zhan stood by the window, sipping tea, while Yibo leaned back against the counter, arms crossed, watching him quietly. There was no rush to leave, no panic about returning to the chaos. Just a calm realization that what they had shared in those 30 days would stay with them long after the door opened again. Because the truth is, 30 days indoors wasn't about isolation. It was about liberation. It was about finding joy in the mundane, about creating without pressure, about laughter that echoed louder than applause. And perhaps, it was about discovering that sometimes the most extraordinary stage is the one hidden from the world, where only two people are the audience to each other's lives. So while fans may never know exactly what happened during those 30 unforgettable days, the beauty lies in the mystery. In imagining Yibo rolling his eyes as Xiao Zhan burns toast. In picturing Xiao Zhan's soft smile as Yibo stumbles over a new chord. In believing that within those walls, something more powerful than fame was born. A bond carved not in the spotlight, but in the shadows where only they existed. And maybe that's the most breathtaking part of the story. Because sometimes, the moments we'll never see are the ones that truly matter. If this hidden retreat has captured your imagination as much as it has ours, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more incredible stories like this. Your support helps us bring these untold narratives to life. And trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next.